Welcome to another edition of Prophecy Update Top News Headlines, where we highlight news and events that relate to Bible prophecy and the end times.
God has given us the nation of Israel as his timepiece, and just as the Bible predicted thousands of years in advance, that as the end nears, all eyes would be on Israel and the Middle East. All the signs of the last days are converging at the same time. Jesus said, "When you see all these signs happening, know that I am near, even at the door." As negotiators head to Egypt, Trump aims for first phase of Gaza deal this week, according to the Times of Israel. A delegation of Hamas officials, led by the terror group's leader Khalil al-Hayya, arrived in Egypt on Sunday night to begin negotiations on Washington's plan to end the war in the Gaza Strip and free all 48 remaining hostages, at least 20 of them alive, as U.S. President Donald Trump implored all parties to move fast toward an agreement. Hamas faces complete obliteration if it clings to power in Gaza, warns Trump. According to the Times of Israel, Hamas faces annihilation if it tries to cling to power in Gaza. U.S. President Donald Trump warned on Sunday, as Israel and the Gaza terror group sent delegations to Egypt ahead of talks on Trump's plan to return the hostages and end the war. Hamas said to demand release of terror chiefs October 7th terrorists in deal for hostages. According to the Times of Israel, Hamas is set to demand the release of some of the most notorious Palestinian terrorists whom Israel has refused to set free, in talks set to start in Egypt on Monday to finalize the return of all Israeli hostages in the first phase of U.S. President Donald Trump's plan to end the war in Gaza. Secretary of State Rubio, "If you want peace for the Palestinian people, Gaza cannot be governed by Hamas or anything that looks like Hamas." According to the Breitbart News, during this week's broadcast of CBS's Face the Nation, Secretary of State Marco Rubio said that to stabilize Gaza, Hamas or anything that looked like Hamas could not govern Gaza. Mike Huckabee marks second anniversary of October 7th. Israel, Jews will never stand alone. According to the Breitbart News, U.S. Ambassador to Israel Mike Huckabee marked the second anniversary of the October 7th, 2023 Hamas terror attack on Israel by calling for the remaining Israeli hostages to be freed in a new deal. IDF reveals long-range rockets pointed toward Israel within Gaza City. According to the Jerusalem Post, IDF reveals long-range rockets pointed toward Israel within Gaza City. In addition, Israeli forces located a cache of weapons containing explosives, radios, cartridges, and numerous weapons. Greta Thunberg, 170 other activists from Gaza Aid Flotilla deported from Israel. According to the Times of Israel, Swedish activist Greta Thunberg and 170 members of the global Sumud Flotilla take off from Ramon International Airport in southern Israel en route to Greece and Slovakia, according to the Foreign Ministry. Scary poll in U.S., 55% of Jews experience antisemitism. According to Israel Hayom, nearly 1 in 5 experienced assault, threats, or verbal harassment due to their Jewish identity, while more than a third witnessed actual anti-Semitic violence or threats of violence. Hamas and the Palestinian Authority do not believe in any peace process, according to a commentary from the Gatestone Institute. Any attempt to portray Hamas's purported acceptance of U.S. President Donald J. Trump's proposal to end the war in the Gaza Strip as a sign that either the Palestinian Authority, PA, or the Iran-backed Palestinian terror group is now interested in peace with Israel is misleading and baseless. If Iran restarts nuclear program, we will deal with that too, Trump warns. According to Jerusalem Post, U.S. President Donald Trump warned that if Iran attempts to restart its nuclear program, then the US will deal with that too, during a speech at Naval Station Norfolk in Virginia on Sunday. China secretly pays Iran for oil and avoids US sanctions. According to the Wall Street Journal, US sanctions make it nearly impossible to pay Iran for its oil. China has figured out how to do it anyway, in an arrangement that has largely been secret. The hidden funding conduit has deepened economic ties between the two US rivals in defiance of Washington's efforts to isolate Iran. Russian drones and missiles pound Ukraine's power grid, set to affect 50,000 households. According to Breitbart News, Russian drones and missiles pounded Ukraine's power grid overnight into Saturday, a Ukrainian energy firm said, a day after what officials described as the biggest attack on Ukrainian natural gas facilities since Moscow's all-out invasion more than 3.5 years ago. NATO jets scrambled after Putin pounds Ukraine with 50 missiles and 500 drones, killing 5 as children among injured. According to the US Sun, NATO scrambled jets after 50 missiles and 500 drones rained down on Ukraine, with the blitz killing at least 5 and wounding children. An entire family of 4, including a 15-year-old girl, were wiped out in Lviv, only 43 miles from Poland, as the city suffered its worst attack of the war. China behind massive nationwide SIM farm network that directly threatens American critical infrastructure. Blaze Media reports that the discovery of SIM farms that threatened cellular networks in New York City is only the tip of a massive nationwide network run by the Chinese Communist government that poses an immediate threat to critical American infrastructure and has led to terrorist acts, including hoax SWAT raids at the homes of national leaders, Blaze News has learned. French government collapses in 14 hours, deepening political crisis. Reuters reports that France's new Prime Minister, Sébastien Lecornu, and his government resigned on Monday, hours after Lecornu announced his cabinet lineup, making it the shortest-lived administration in modern French history and deepening the country's political crisis. While Americans sleep, there is concern that Canada, the United Kingdom, and Europe continue to implement the beast system. Michael Snyder from End of the American Dream writes, "Would you like to live in a country where the government could secretly cut off your phone and internet service if you are accused of spreading misinformation? Or how about a country where you must submit to a digital identification system if you want to get a job? We live at a time when our liberties are being eroded in countless ways. If we do not stand up and speak out now, those that are seeking to take our liberties away will just continue to push the envelope. Eventually, we could find ourselves living in a beast system society in which we don't have any liberties left at all." Jeff Bezos makes wild prediction about data centers as energy demand grows. From the New York Post, Amazon founder and executive chair Jeff Bezos predicted on Friday gigawatt-scale data centers will be built in space within the next 10 to 20 years, and that continuously available solar energy meant they would eventually outperform those based on Earth. Amazon digitally erases guns from iconic James Bond posters on Prime Video, sparks massive backlash from fans. The Gateway Pundit reports that Amazon has quietly photoshopped firearms out of the promotional posters for every single James Bond film available on Prime Video. The alterations, a clear war on traditional masculinity and Second Amendment values, affect classics from Sean Connery's era all the way through Daniel Craig's final outing in No Time to Die. Renowned microbiologist warns, COVID shots shorten the life of human beings. Slay News reports that renowned microbiologist Dr. Sucharit Bhakti has issued a stark warning about the devastating health consequences of COVID vaccines, declaring that the injections are shortening the lifespan of those who received them. Trump administration: Minnesota is breaking federal law by allowing males in female sports. Harbinger's Daily reports that the United States Department of Education, as well as Health and Human Services, have found that Minnesota is violating federal law by allowing males to compete in girls' and women's sports. Florida officials gut rainbow crosswalk in South Beach amid statewide crackdown from Yahoo News reports that the Florida Department of Transportation on Sunday evening began removing the Pride-themed crosswalk on Ocean Drive in Miami Beach.